Franco was a junkie, right? He was a rival. Some dumbass kid trying to make a name for himself. Yeah. Someone you forgot to pay off. Someone you slighted, not even realizing it. Could be someone you put out of business for being so successful. Look at you. Success. It's got enemies, right? Lots of enemies, so. Your success took a shot at you. What are you gonna do now? How are you gonna kill it? You gonna become unsuccessful? Frank, we can be successful and have enemies, right? We can be unsuccessful too, you know, we can have friends. That's a choice we make.
And with success comes envy, man. Just keep bringing it on. What's going on YouTube? What's going on, Eagles Nation? It's your boy TK the Official, and welcome back to another episode of TK Sports Talk, where we talk about the NFL. But more importantly, we talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, man. I mean, they just can't keep our names out their mouths. And what else would you expect when you coming off of winning the Super Bowl? What else would you expect when you just now, just before the start of training camp, you just accept your gaudy, big-ass Super Bowl championship rings? Y'all see them? Look at that ring on the screen right there. Look at Jeffrey Lloyd. Look at Saquon right? Look at A.J. Brown. Look at Jalenhurts. Look at everybody rocking the rings. It's all over the internet. Everyone's seen us wearing them, right? But guess what? We done put the rings away, man. All right? We done turned the page to the next season to try to go out there and win another ring. But every time I try to leave, something keeps calling me back, right? Just keep calling me back. Now, let's address the hate one by one, because today, around about today, yesterday, somewhere around that time, right, we got a comment from a Rams defensive lineman, right? A Rams defensive lineman who says that they cannot wait until they play the Philadelphia Eagles. They got that game circled on their calendar, right? It's not only once did you get ran on for over 200 yards, but twice. Not only once did you get ran on in the regular season, but then you got ran on in the postseason. But what happened is that you think because y'all was somehow in the game toward the end of the game, never leading the game, right? But somehow in the game, at the end of the game, because, we gave up a bad play, Darius Slay. He was talking about that on the podcast with Richard Sherman, man. He gave up that out and up to Cooper Kupp. He was right there on the sideline. Should have never even completed that pass, but that's neither here nor there, right? The Philadelphia Eagles were impacted by the weather just like the Rams were. You don't think that we stopped throwing the ball? You don't think that some of our running stuff was affected by the snow? It was. Right? We both was out there playing in the game, but the bottom line is that the Philadelphia Eagles had control of that game the entire game. And not only did the Philadelphia Eagles have control of the game, they had control of the line of scrimmage and everybody that was on it. Right? Everybody that was on it. This dude, Kobi Turner, man, let me put this on the screen, man. I'm going to read this to you. This dude, Kobi Turner, decides that he wants to come out today, right? And what else do you want him to say, right? You want him to say nothing. If you're his teammate, right, you just want him to be quiet. Don't poke the bear. You're talking about the Super Bowl champions. It ain't like they just happen to just win a game. No, they marched the ball down your throat. They threw the ball on you. They marched the ball on you. Jalenhurts had a long touchdown for 40 yards. Saquonbarkley had a 78-yard touchdown. 72-yard. However long it was, okay? Long as hell, right? 2 long runs, 3 long runs, okay? 4 total long runs, 5 long runs, okay, put up on y'all head top, all right, by the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? So anyway, so this guy comes out and he says, and I don't know what else you want him to say, right? Because we play him in week 3. It's like he's acting like he don't know when we play him and all this other kind of stuff, right? But my thing is, it's one thing for you to say something, but when you actually hear the people talk, listen to what this man said. Let me see here, right? This man says here, right? I've had that loss in the back of my mind for a while. Obviously, it's on to a new season. Let's just read what this man says right here, okay? Because this man says that I've had that loss in the back of my mind for a while. Obviously, it's on to a new season and on to continue to progress. That's what he said. All right, I thought I was reading it wrong, but I definitely have ... I believe it's week 3. Circled. I mean, even in the individual training right now, we are breaking down, okay, this is how some of the guys, some of the offensive linemen for the Philadelphia Eagles, this is how they block. And this is how we're going to defeat that. That's a hell of a game plan, my man. I would think that you did that in the first game that they played y'all in the regular season out there in SoFi, right? I would think that after they embarrassed you like that at home in LA in front of your fans when you had a chance for redemption, right? When your boy Jalenhurts was talking all that mess, he's another guy that just be talking, right? Like, shout out to Chris Broussard on First Thing First. I think you guys are a couple of break dancers. Yeah, Jalenhurts, he's a baller, right? And other than that, he's the only person on your team that was really making plays for y'all, that really even stood up. He's the only person that I won't say nothing if he say something. You know why? Because he talked that talk. He came into Philly and he backed that up. Right? You, my man, on the other hand, right? Let's just put it on the screen. Let me see. Was it this play out there in SoFi, right? Where Saquon cut to the right? You are on that side, my man. Okay? It looked like Mekhi Becton took care of you, bro. Can't even see you in the screen as Saquon Barkley scampers off for a 72-yard touchdown, fam. You, fam. Kobi? Nah, Turner. You're never going to say Kobe when it comes to you. You Turner, bro. You terrible, but you Turner, all right? And in the playoffs, all right, you want to figure out how they block? Okay, well, it wasn't Mekhi Becton this time. It was one Lane Johnson, right, who reach blocked you and kept you on that line the whole entire time. And once Saquon was past him, he put his arm up in the air, and that's the only time he let you go. When he knew Saquon was about to score another touchdown. Come on, bro. Come on. What you say is the Eagles are a worthy opponent, and we can't wait to get another shot at them. That's what you say. The rest of this, we're looking at this. We circle the game. We want to look at. We're checking to see how they blocking. My man. They're gonna block you the same way they blocked you the last time. Because guess what? The same guys is coming back this time. All right, minus Mekhi Becton. All right, but guess what? We got the game circled too, right? Because you guys are the only team that everyone's trying to say had played us the best, had the best chance of beating us, right? And I think that's crap. I think the Philadelphia Eagles dominated that entire game, and it was never close. Yeah, it came down to the end, right? It did. But guess what? We made the play. Yeah, we was up in the lead. And don't think for 1 second that Jalenhurts wasn't going to get the ball and take us back down the football field and win the football game. Because that's what he does. It doesn't matter how the game was going, what was going on up until that time. Nick Sirianni and Jalenhurts would have figured out a reason or figured out a way to come down there and win that football game, because that's what we do. That's what we do, man. All right? Now, in a week, this is a 1 calendar week. Right? This is 7 days. In 7 days, we didn't have 3 haters. We had Cam Newton, which we had to address. And thank you, everybody who watched that video, who subscribed to the channel after that video, who rocking with me now. I really wanted to do a training camp video. Training camp started today. The players reported, right? You see a couple of guys on the screen walking into the NovaCare complex. You see your boy Jalenhurts, cool as can be. You know what I'm saying? With the Jordan retro. You see your boy, right? You see him. This how you get ready for a new season. That's what I wanted to talk about. But then something came across my Twitter feed saying that Miles Sanders. And let me quote what Miles Sanders is saying. But before I quote what he's saying, because I know I put it up on the screen, Miles Sanders basically is saying Saquon only had a good season like that behind the Philadelphia Eagles because of their offensive line, period. Said that when he was in New York, he wasn't doing none of that. That's what he said. He said when he was in New York, matter of fact, let me quote what he's saying, because I don't want to misquote what the boy said, man. This is what he said. He said, no disrespect. Now again, right? Let me preface this, because he prefaced his statement. Right? And we all know when the dudes say no disrespect, you typically about to get disrespected, right? Right? Like when I tell somebody no disrespect, I fully know that what I'm about to say might come off as disrespectful, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, cut the shit. Anyway, so he says, no disrespect to Barkley, but he wasn't doing all that in New York. Got a good O-line, so it's cool. I do this everywhere, and Philly gonna see. They said I wasn't worth the money, so I signed with the team they hate the most. I'm in Dallas now, and every snap is personal. All right, we got to break this down in so many different ways, right? Because at first, I didn't think it was malicious until I kept on reading it, right? I kept on reading it. Milessanders is saying, right? Okay, you got a good old line, and it's cool. it's cool. Listen, Miles, when I start reaching behind my back, I'm about to pull out some facts, right? I mean, you do know that, right, Miles? Listen, Miles, if somebody can get this video to you, Miles, let's just start right here real quick, okay? Let's just address this right here, Miles. In 2022, when you were with the Philadelphia Eagles, Miles, and your best season ever, right? The first year, right, that Jalenhurts was there, starting with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and that Eagles offensive line, right? Because let's keep it a beam, Miles, because you look at these numbers, Miles. You wasn't even cracking 1,000. Some seasons not even really 800, Miles. Okay, and your best year with the Philadelphia Eagles, Miles, you rushed for 1,269 yards, 4.9 yards a carry, right? 11 TDs, and your longest run was 40 yards. Right? Now, what you said was that Saquon wasn't doing all that in New York, right? Because basically what you're saying is that Saquon is now running behind a much better offensive line, an offensive line that you once ran behind, right? Mailata was there when you was there. Landon Dickerson was there when you was there. All right? Jason Kelce was there. Right now, Jason Kelce, Cam Jurgens, come on, man. It's the same player, almost. With the edge going to Jason Kelce. He's the greatest center of all time. Right? Makai back then, he wasn't there. Right? But Lane Johnson was there. Right? Okay? A.J. Brown was there. Devontae Smith was there. Dallas Goedert was there, bro. They was there. And before Saquon even got to the Philadelphia Eagles, bro, he had 3 seasons where he had 1,000 yards, plus another season where he almost cracked 1,000 yards. So he almost had 4 seasons of having 1,000 yards rushing, right, in 6 years. In the other 2 seasons, he was hurt, playing behind a poor offensive line. Miles, you was always playing in a good Eagles offensive system, always playing behind a good Eagles offensive line, always, bro. Right? Listen, Miles, in Saquon Barkley's year, right? Before he came to the Eagles, right? He had 1,300 yards, Miles. Your best season wasn't even 1,300 yards. Your best season with the Philadelphia Eagles wasn't Saquon's best season with the New York Giants, right? Like, let's keep it a beam, bro. And you had the Eagles have had the best offensive line for years, bro. Jeff Stoutman has been here since Chip Kelly got here, bro. Right? He's been the best offensive line since at least 2 years of coming into the National Football League. Right? Come on, bro. Look, and soon as Saquon Barkley got here, he rushed for 2,000 yards, Miles. 2,000, and he didn't play a game, and he sat at least 2 or 3 fourth quarters. How could you see listen? You was on the same team with Saquon Barkley, bro. Bro, you was his backup. Bro, Saquon Barkley left so you could play at Penn State. Come on, bro. How you hating on your mans like that? Oh. He was never really your mans, huh? You was always jealous of Saquon, right? Always, because you thought that you was actually the more talented running back, right? You thought that you was actually the better running back, but Saquon Barkley just had the name, bro. So while Saquon was running, before Saquon even ran in Philly, right? Let's just talk about last year, not last season. Let's talk about the season before that when DeAndre Swift was here in Philadelphia, right? And you had your first year in Carolina. Miles, listen, Saquon Barkley in his last year in New York ran for 962 yards, bro. 962. You, my boy, in Carolina with the Panthers, right? Featured running back. Was supposed to be the featured running back. You, my boy, had 432 yards, dog. 432? Does the name Chuba Hubbard ring a bell? You might hear me say that a couple times. Listen, last season, Miles, you said that this is personal, right? You said that the Eagles didn't think that you was worth the money. In all actuality, Miles, you outpriced yourself, bro. You went to the Carolina Panthers after coming off of a Super Bowl season with the Philadelphia Eagles, knowing good and well what kind of a roster you had, knowing good and well this was a team that can go right back to the Super Bowl. The Eagles started out 10-1 that very next season. And along them 10 wins was a stop down in Carolina where you, sir, for a guy who says it's personal, for a guy that's now in Dallas who's saying every touch he gets is going to be personal, sir, you might not even get the ball. Because in Carolina, Chuba Hubbard, does that name ring a bell? You didn't even play against the Eagles, bro. You didn't even play. If you did play, I don't even remember you playing. You went from a featured back with the Philadelphia Eagles to going down to to Carolina and playing with the Panthers to getting paid a good size contract for a running back at that time, bro. Good size contract. And you were ultimately a bust, bro. Look at you. You're not even there now. Bro, you've had 637 yards in the last 2 seasons, bro. Saquon Barkley's last 2 seasons, let me see if I can calculate this up, right? Saquon Barkley has had 2,967 yards in a regular season in his last 2 seasons, bro. That's what he had, Miles. Miles, I can add up your last 3 seasons, including one with the Philadelphia Eagles, right? I ain't going to do the math right now, but I know it ain't 2,967 yards, Miles. Okay? Saquon Barkley also rushed for 499 yards in the playoffs. Miles, you ain't doing that. You ain't did that. No, the Philadelphia Eagles said, listen, your success was because of the offensive line. Your success was because of Jalenhurts and his running ability. Your success was because the Eagles added A.J. Brown to a wide receiver core that featured Devontae Smith and also had Dallas Goedert as a reliable catching threat. Your success was determined off of that. So the Philadelphia Eagles said, you know what? You don't want to sign a contract. You don't want to get this type of money. You think you're worth more money? Go ahead, bro. Because the Eagles ain't no haters, bro. Howie was like, bro, you want to go? You think you're worth more? Yo, go get your money, bro. They brought DeAndre Swift in here. DeAndre Swift came in here and put up 1,000 yards, and we didn't even give him the ball like we should have, bro. Right? Plenty of games. The Philadelphia Eagles came out that season and was much more pass happy. We was trying to feature Jalenhurts much more, and we did not run the ball as much as we should have to our detriment. But if we did run the ball more, DeAndre Swift would have outrushed you. Same amount of games, less carries. Would have outrushed you. So what the Philadelphia Eagles say? They say, you know what? We're not going to mess around with this running back thing, right? We got a good thing going on, but we know we're dominant when we run the football, right? We had a better run-to-pass ratio when we went to the Super Bowl. Let's get back to that. They looked out there, and Saquon was about to be a free agent. Every team should have been trying to sign Saquon. Nobody was trying to sign you, bro. You winded up in Carolina, now you're in Dallas. And you think you're going to get the carries that you want to have with Dak Prescott now that he has George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb? Boy, you tripping. You big tripping. That's never going to happen, Miles. It's never going to happen. You're not going to get the carries that you want. Not even in the first game. They might be like, you too emotional, you too hype. And Miles, you like to fumble, bro. You know the Eagles, they like to turn the ball over and cause fumbles. Everybody out there going to be punching at the ball. Jordan Davis going to be punching at the ball. Zach Bond going to be punching at the ball. All right? Jalen Carter going to be punching at the ball. You know Nolan Smith going to be punching at the ball. and you talking all this trash, and you don't put a bullseye on your back, and you said every carry is going to be personal. Son, I hope they give you 25 carries in that game, because I hope every tackle that the Philadelphia Eagles make is personal. And even if it's not, you're going to feel like it was, Miles. You're going to feel like it was, bro. Miles, Saquon, let's see. Your longest rush was 40 yards. How many rushes this year did Saquon have over 40 yards? How many rushes did Saquon have over 50? How many rushes did Saquon Barkley have over 60 yards? How about over 70? Miles, you're not making any sense here. You don't have to poop on Saquon, and you don't have to say Saquon ain't do nothing before he got with the Eagles. Saquon was a great running back. Saquon is like Barry Sanders trapped. He was like Barry Sanders trapped with Detroit, bro. Bro, what you should have said is, you know what? I should have stayed with the Philadelphia Eagles, and I could have had the same type of success as Saquon. That's the quote, bro. That's what you say. That's what you should have said. That's what your publicist should tell you. You need to take public speaking, right? Because that's what you should have said. I should have stayed. I wish I would have stayed with the Philadelphia Eagles. I could have and would have had the same amount of success that Saquon Barkley is having. Even if that's not true, that's somewhat more believable, right? We're going to be like, yeah, you know what? I can say, Miles, you was a pretty good running back. Miles, you was able to get in there and hit the hole pretty good. Like, yeah, we could have been on that, right? We could have been on that. But when you come out and you say something like, no disrespect to Barkley, but he wasn't doing all of that in New York. He got a good O-line and it's cool. But I do this everywhere. Miles, you do this everywhere, bro? You didn't do it in Carolina, bro. Bro, you had 432 yards in your first season with the Panthers and 205 in the next season. Does the name Chuba Hubbard ring a bell, bro? Miles, how could you come out and say something like that, bro? You play the Eagles the first game of the season. It's already hard enough for y'all to walk into Philadelphia with the Philadelphia Eagles dropping the banners down, right? With all these young guns that they got about to start in the defense. When you playing a number one defense, you playing one of the best offenses, and then you don't put a bullseye on your back, and it's already a rivalry game, and the crowd already going to be amped up. They're going to be booing you every time you touch the ball. When they might have cheered for you. Now you're going to be getting booed every time you touch the ball, and God forbid you fumble. Miles, they will never put you back in the game, bro. It's going to be Rico Dowdle and that other little young short dude from Kansas State. Miles, the hate is real out here, y'all. Philadelphia Eagles fans, the hate is real. Everybody is jealous. Everybody wants to take a shot. Everybody wants to take a shot at the throne. Everyone wants to try to take some of that shine off of the Philadelphia Eagles. But the Philadelphia Eagles gonna shine, man. Right? I don't care if you're Kobi Turner. I don't care if you're Cam Newton. And I don't care if you're Miles damn Sanders. Y'all all gonna get the business, and y'all gonna feel it all the same. It's your boy TK, the official, man. All right, it's another episode of TK Sports Talk. Please like, comment, and subscribe. All right, I'm done with this, man. No more addressing any of the haters, man. Listen, training camp practice starts tomorrow. We got training camp storylines. We're going to have coverage about what's going on. I'm going to be talking all things Philadelphia Eagles going into the 2025 season, and I can care less about a hater. Haters, I'm out. Go Birds.